In this video, we're going to be breaking down some combos that are so powerful, they're barely making a sound. And first, guys, if you guys like the video, please go and leave a like. Of course, comment what you guys want to see next, or what you like about the video, guys. I try my best to respond to each and every single one of you guys' comments. And without further ado, guys, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and let's get right into the video. Alright guys, so now we are quickly going to be getting into the combo tutorial. Now again, like I always say in my videos, guys, I start off with the basic combos, then move on. Anyways, starting off with the first combo, guys, it's going to be low, the Prayers of the Voiceless Voice. Now this is kind of the Stratus of the deck, things of that nature, but basically this card says this: once returned, this card is normal or special summon, you can place one Voiceless Voice continuous spell or trap from your deck face up in your spell and trap zone. Now that's really good because it automatically places, so again, plays under Drone Lockbird. Also being able to place a trap directly face up, very similar to Lebellion, is also very good. So starting off, guys, we will go ahead and summon off our low. Normal summon low has very weird, like 50 20 50, like who even does that? But summon out low. Low's effect will go ahead and activate to go ahead and get the Barrier of the Voiceless Voice. So displace it. Now barrier has the effect where it says blah blah blah. During your main phase, you can add one Voiceless Voice card or one Skull Guardian ritual monster from your deck to your hand, except itself, of course. And then the other effect provides protection. I'll go into the protection later on as well, but from here what we can do is we can go ahead and activate barrier, which allows us to add Saffira, Dragon Queen of the Voiceless Voice. Now this card has this effect where it says you can discard this card, send one ritual spell from your deck to the graveyard. Again, it can be generic. Then you can add one light ritual monster, warrior or dragon, from your deck or graveyard to your hand. You can banish card from your graveyard, ritual summon one light ritual monster. So again, she acts as a I guess like what's it called, like the skyscraper discard, guys, Captain Gold. There you go. She acts like Captain Gold when you discard and add one, and then she can also become a ritual spell to banish and ritual summon, tripping monster, blah blah. And then one thing about low is low also has the effect where it can be considered as the entire summon, so used as the entire tribute. But anyways, we will go ahead and add Saffira. Then we're most likely what we're going to do is we will go ahead and use Saffira, discard Saffira. This will go ahead and send a ritual spell, and then it can go ahead and add. Now I believe that I think it's the send or one of these is optional, I'm pretty sure. Then you can add, right? So the add is optional, so you can still use this all under Drone and Lockbird. So again, we go ahead and dump that. Then here we can do is we can go ahead and banish Saffira to go ahead and tribute out the low, because low can be considered every single tribute monster or whatever. And then we'll go ahead and use Skull Guardian as Chainlink 1. I'm so used to the other names, the Japanese names, but Skull Guardian Chainlink 1, and then it'll be low Chainlink 2. The reason why it's low Chainlink 2 is low has, if you ritual summon exactly blah blah blah, it says this. There's a bunch of effects here. Here you go. If a light ritual monster, warrior or dragon is special summoned to your field while this card's in the graveyard, you can special summon this card. And then Skull Guardian has the effect where it says blah blah blah. If this card is ritual summoned, you can add one Voiceless Voice monster or one ritual monster, warrior or dragon, from your deck to your hand. And then it says when your opponent activates a card effect while you control low and low is about to summon herself back, you can negate the activation and if you destroy. So again, an Omni negate. It's pretty good on the second summon as well, so you don't really lose anything. That's like 2 Sashibaka, you know what I mean? So it's pretty good. But anyways, we'll go Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. Low will summon herself out, and then we will go ahead and add our Soravis, the Ancient and Ascended. So if you guys aren't familiar, Soravis has the effect where you can discard him and then negate the targeting effect. He also has a on-field effect as well. It says when your opponent would special summon a monster, you can quick effect return this card from your hand, or return this card to your hand, negate the summon. If you do banish, so negate and banish is really good. You guys saw it from Macabre, but from here we can go ahead and proceed to link our monster's way into our Dynamondo. So again, we are not restricted by anything in terms of ritual summoning. Cannot summon from your X deck, things of that nature. So that's what makes the ritual deck a little better. And the Dynamondo has this card. The first effect is not really important. It's more when you're going second. You can target a card on the field, ritual, shuffle them both in the deck. The main effect is during your opponent's turn, you can tribute this card, target one ritual monster in your graveyard, either add it to your hand or special summon it. So again, from here we will go ahead and pass. Go into the draw phase. During our opponent's draw phase, like I was stating before, we can go and use this effect to tribute and target the Skull Guardian. Skull Guardian will come out. It won't trigger because only a ritual summon, but this will trigger low in our graveyard. The reason why this is important is we can go ahead and summon out low, use low's effect here to go ahead and place. And yes, they do have a trap card as well, which is Radiance of the Voiceless Voice. So the first effect is pretty good as an extender. The main effect we're going to be using is this one. So target cards your opponent controls up to the number of light ritual, warrior or dragon monsters you control. Destroy both this card and as many of the targeted cards as possible. So it's really good, right? So it's kind of like the time pending graph in that aspect. Then also has the other effect where it says shuffle one light ritual monster or from your hand or graveyard, and if you do special summon one Voiceless Voice monster from your graveyard. So again, it's pretty good. It says during the main phase you can activate one of these effects. So Again, it's just a very good card, like being an extender. You can go ahead and use this card to pop. You can also use this card to swap out to get into other cards, things of that nature. So it is very, very powerful. The main thing is you also have targeting protection as well. And again, the way that this deck functions is it's very sticky, very linear combos with random protection that you guys didn't even think about. So one of the other protections, like I was saying, is this card. Well, I control low and a light ritual monster. Your opponent's monsters can only target ritual monsters for attack, right? Also, your opponent cannot target light monster you control with card effects. And again, we also have Saravis here to negate it. One other thing as well is this card gains 20-50 attack while you have low, so it's pretty good as well. Then we also have the ritual spell where this card says this, wherever it is, if face up light ritual monster you control leaves the field by an opponent's card effect, you can banish this card from graveyard, but summon one Saravis, Saffira or whatever, from your hand or deck, ignoring summoning conditions. So like basically if they out this card, you can summon out a Saravis and then Saravis and negate and banish as well. So again, very, very sticky board, like I said before, very annoying. That's it for the first combo, just to kind of go a little bit more in depth. I'll go on to the second. Alright guys, so now we are getting onto the second combo. Now this is a substitute engine or an additional engine that other decks play. It's gonna be just Diviner. Again, I'm gonna speed through the combo because I feel like I did a pretty good job going in depth with the main Voiceless Voice engine. So again, we will summon out Diviner. If you guys don't know what Diviner says, she can send a fairy from the deck or extract to the graveyard. So for here, we can go ahead and dump our Trius. Yep. Okay, for sure. Yeah, we'll send our Trius. Trius has the effect where it's during the main phase, if this card's in your hand or graveyard, quick effect, tribute up to 3 fairy monsters, special summon this card. So again, up to 3, right? And then we get 2 effects. So it is technically a disruption if it's in the graveyard, but it doesn't really matter. And again, we only play 1. If we draw the 1, you send the Diviner, so it doesn't really matter from there. From here, we go ahead and send. Use Trius to tribute Diviner to summon out Trius. Diviner has the effect where if she's tributed, you can summon a level 2 or lower fairy monster from your hand or deck. So this will go ahead and trigger to summon out our low, which is a level 1 fairy. Then we can go ahead and use Low's effect. Low's effect will go ahead and trigger to go ahead and place our barrier. And then from here, guys, again, it's the bread and butter combo. We add Saffira, discard Saffira, use Saffira's effect to go ahead and mill, and then add the Skull Guardian. From here, we can go ahead and banish the Saffira to ritual summon by tributing, and then use Skull Guardian's effect. For some reason, I keep thinking it's Vox. Use Skull Guardian's effect to reborn out the low, and then low will come up because Skull Guardian's on the field, and then we will go ahead and add the Saravis. You can also add the other guy as well, but it's just not worth it right now, just off of the 1-card combo. Then we get the Diamondo, and then during our opponent's turn, we can quick effect tribute to summon out the Skull Guardian, summon out the low, go ahead and get the trap card. So that's it for the first combo, or second combo, sorry. So the first combo is just low by itself. The second combo is Diviner. It's very similar end boards. Diviner ends with like 1 extra monster on board. Doesn't really change too much in my opinion. But again, fodder is fodder at the end of the day. But that's it for the second combo, guys. Now let's go on to the third combo. Alright guys, now we are getting on to the third combo. Now like I said before, they get a little bit meatier, I'm not gonna lie, but this one is going to be Barrier plus Sphere. Now again, Barrier has the effect where you can add one. So if you don't have the low or you already have the low, then you know what I mean. So using the Barrier to get it, and then Sphere again. So we have 2 of the cards that we're going to be searching. We hard open them because they're 3 ofs. So from here we activate Barrier. Barrier's effect will trigger to go ahead and get us our low to our hand. Then here we can normal low, use lows to get the trap card because we already have it. Then we can go and use Saffira, discard Saffira to dump and add, which is going to be pretty nice here. Then from here we can go ahead and use Saffira to banish, tribute the low to summon out our Skull Guardian, and then chainlink 1 Guardian, chainlink 2 low. Low will come out, Skull Guardian's effect will go ahead and activate to add any card. Like really, it can be any card, and you guys will see why. I just wanted to add this card because like the artwork's kind of nice, you know what I mean? But basically the reason why we do is for the trap card, because this card says shuffle 1 light ritual, warrior, or dragon, or 1 ritual spell from your hand or graveyard into the deck. And if you do add to your hand or special 1 Voiceless Voice monster, right? I don't know why that wording tripped me up. And the reason why you don't want to shuffle this card is this card has pretty good protection where like if they somehow out the Skull Guardian, you can summon out the other guy, so you want to keep that in the graveyard. So we shuffle back this card, and then being able to show like a new card's kind of nice as well. This will go ahead and summon out our main deck Saravis, or main monster Saravis, which is Dragon Sage of the Voiceless Voice. So first off, the artwork is super dope. Second effect is you can special summon this card by shuffling 2 spells from your hand and or graveyard into the deck. Again, 1-card combos, we're not going to have it. Then the other effect says is blah blah blah, once per turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect quick effect, you can return this card from your field to the hand, special summon 1 light ritual, warrior, or dragon from your hand or deck, but shuffle it into the deck during the end of the next turn. Okay, and you can only use the effect once per turn. Usually why this is good is it's basically an additional disruption where you can go ahead and bounce them to your hand, and then you can go ahead and summon out a Saravis, summon out anything else. And Saravis again is very good on board. Then you can also discard to negate as well. So again, like I said before, very, very sticky. On top of that, guys, we can go ahead and do the classic Dynamondo play where you go ahead and send this, then use Dynamo during our opponent's turn to reborn, summon out, and then go ahead and reborn again. This will go ahead and activate to go ahead and activate the additional continue spell. On top of that, we also have the trap card as well. So we have a negate, we have the trap card, we have full protection as well with these two cards. We also have the shuffler card as well. And then this card is also kind of good as well, where it's like you can target one Voiceless Voice card in your graveyard at your hand. If a non-ritual monster is normal or special summoned, you can ritual summon one light warrior or dragon ritual from your hand by attributing monsters, blah blah whatever. Cannot be destroyed by battle. So this one's a little better. Personally speaking, it's only like later on where like when this guy summons out Saravis and Saravis negates and then returns to hand, then you can use this card to ritual summon him out again. So again, it's just more little fodder. But like I said before, the deck has very linear combos, and then the reason why it's really good is it's consistent. It puts up a very annoying and sticky board, so that's why I really like this deck. But anyways, guys, let's go on to the fourth and final combo. All right, guys, so now we are getting on to the fourth and final combo. Now this is going to be showcasing another engine, which is going to be the branded engine. And shout out to my little brother, he actually really helped me figure this combo out, because remember he told me about it, but I didn't believe him. And then when I was trying to do it, I couldn't really figure it out, so I had to message him, and then he basically put me on. So shout out to my little brother. But basically, it's going to be Aluber, a random discard card, and Barrier of the Voiceless Voice. Usually opening Barrier is pretty good in itself, but from here we can go ahead and summon. So we normal Aluber goes ahead and adds us our branded fusion. Then from here we can do is we can go ahead and activate branded fusion will go ahead and dump Albaz and dump our low to summon out our Albion, and then Albion's effect on field will activate to go ahead and banish. So he's like a miracle fusion, so he banishes the Albaz and he banishes the Aluber on board to summon out the Lubellion. Then this is why I was saying that we need a card to discard, because Lubellion can go and activate to discard to shuffle himself back in the Albaz to go ahead and summon out our other layer of disruption, which is going to be Mirror Jade. From here it's pretty good, because what we can do is we can go ahead and activate our Barrier of the Voiceless Voice. From here this will go ahead and add us our Saffira, because we already have low access, we don't need to add it in this instance. From here we can go ahead and use Saffira. This card's broken. Saffira dump, go ahead and add Skull Guardian, then banish Saffira to ritual summon by tributing the Albion, because you know what I mean, it just ends up working that way. So we tribute the Albion, summon out the Skull Guardian. From here Skull Guardian chainlink 1 and low will be chainlink 2. So low will go ahead and activate to to place, and then depending on what you want to add, you can add it, doesn't really matter. So for this instance here, I end up adding the ritual Saravis, and then low will trigger to go ahead and activate the trap card. From here we go ahead and use the trap card to go ahead and shuffle back the ritual spell to summon out main deck Saravis onto the board, and then from here we can basically end it, and then during the end phase Albion will go ahead and trigger to set our branded in red. So from here basically you guys can kind of see how we get a lot more disruptions in this way. The branded engine is very good in my opinion. I think it's like you can play it, and if you don't want to play it, it's perfectly fine. Like you'll probably see more lists not play it. I just want to showcase like the utility of the deck as well. But basically you end on a Mirror Jade banish, you end on Brandon in red, which is a potential Guardian Chimera combo as well. On top of that, you also end on a Saravis. You also end on main deck Saravis, you also end on Vox, which is the negate, or sorry, Skull Guardian the negate, and it is the low. So again guys, that was it for the 4 Voiceless Voice, Silent Force, whatever you guys want to call it, combos. If you guys want to see any more combos of new archetypes, if you guys want to see older archetypes, meta reviews, live decks, streams, anything like that, guys, please let me know down below. I'm always willing to adapt my content to make sure that it's the best possible. My name's Hamza, and like I always say, guys, thanks for watching. Keep on shining, never go on your dreams. Peace.